Come on, get up.
Morning, Brian.
Stephen, are you aware that you've voluntarily embarked upon a PhD in physics?
Hello, welcome to What the Flick. I am back. I still sound like crap. My name is Christy Lemire, and sometimes I see movies. Christy Alonso, the lovely Bibbs, is here. He's going to describe the theory of everything, because at this table, he's the genius astrophysicist of the three of us. I'm feeling good about that.
Okay, great. I will not tell you my math SAT scores. Okay, so Eddie Redmayne stars as world-renowned physicist Stephen Hawking, who discovers that marriage with Lou Gehrig's disease is not all it's cracked up to be. That's terrible.
It's so flippant, but take a look.
Sorry.
I'm a cosmologist.
What's that?
I study the marriage of space and time.
The perfect couple.
One never knows from where the next great leap forward is going to come, or from whom.
What if I reverse time to see what happened at the beginning of time itself?
Wind back the clock.
Wind back the clock?
Keep going.
I don't know how.
Yet.
Keep winding!
Where to?
It's called motor neuron disease. Life expectancy is 2 years.
I want us to be together for as long as we've got.
It'll affect everything. You don't realize what lies ahead. This is going to be a very heavy defeat.
But I love him. And he loves me. We're going to fight this illness together.
He has pneumonia. The only way he will survive will be to give him a tracheotomy. He will never speak again.
Yes, he will.
My name is Stephen Hawking.
It's American.
Is that a problem?
It has been a great joy to watch this man defy every expectation, both scientific and personal.
There should be no boundaries to human endeavor. However bad life may seem, while there is life, there is hope.
Thank you.
Sorry, did you say something?
I said thank you.
This is super duper Oscar bait.
Oh my God.
It is really beautifully shot.
It's pretty.
It's
Sure.
really pretty. I mean, and Eddie Redmayne is doing the My Left Foot School of Acting thing
I've been
here.
calling this my left brain.
I like that. That's very cute.
No, the acting is fine. It's completely, it's totally delivers what it needs to be doing. I thought he was fine. I liked Felicity Jones more than I usually do.
I don't usually like her either.
I'm still annoyed about Go Crazy, Get Crazy.
I hated Go Like Crazy.
Like Crazy.
It's so bad we forgot about it.
I
I hated that
like
movie.
her a lot, but she made no impression on me in this because, one, as I mentioned to you before, she spends half the movie like looking 10 years younger than she is, looking just like porn star Lexi Bell, and then 10 years looking
look
10
it
years.
up, because our viewers don't know who that is.
No idea. And also 10 years, half the movie looking 10 years older than she is, looking like Kim Dickens. So I was just distracted the entire
But
time.
I like her. She's given more to do here than she often is in a lot of films, where she's supposed to be just like the plucky ingenue. She has an arc, and because of her character, and again, it is based on
Her
Jane
book.
Hawking, or Jane, I guess she's Jane Wilde now. I don't know what she is. It's her book. She is the saint, and she is the martyr, and she is the sacrificial one,
Right.
whose greatness, his greatness would not have happened if not for her, and that's probably true.
Sure. Yeah, and all that is fine, but it's like, if you're telling a story over and over again, we're being told about how Stephen Hawking's thoughts and his ideas and his papers and everything is changing the world and is throwing out all of the old science and completely radically, reimagining everything. And so for a guy who is so radically reimagining everything, let's tell his story in the most mundane, crushingly obvious biopic way possible.
It actually reminded me of that other Felicity Jones movie from last year where she got to romance Charles Dickens. And everything Charles Dickens did in his life amounted to nothing more than this affair, apparently. It reduces all this stuff, and it's like, there's no context. There's no sense of like, you're right, like, I discovered this thing about black holes. Well, how does that affect anything? Well, it made this old guy shout, "You don't know what you're talking about," and then storm off.
It meant that one day someone could make Interstellar.
I was gonna say, we have 3 movies this week in which black holes are important.
Oh, that's right.
Big Hero 6 also has a black hole in
And
it.
3 pro-science movies, too, so that's kind of cool.
But there's one point where, who is it? Stephen Hawking's dad says to him that he needs more in-home help. He says, "You're world famous." I'm like, he is? Because there's
First time hearing
at
about
this point, we don't know.
Where's the paparazzo?
Yeah. You mentioned that it's because Hawking's thinking was so innovative that it's a sad irony that this film is so bland and so safe. It's also true of who directed it, James Marsh, who made Man on Wire, which is thrilling and inventive, and it borrows from a lot of Errol Morris's playbook, but like it makes you think you're actually watching Philippe Petit walk across the tightrope between the towers, and you never actually witness that. But he's so immerses you in this life, in this world, that you believe it. He's an innovative filmmaker. He's made a very safe Oscar bait movie.
I mean, there are a couple moments that I liked where they really sort of wrestle Hawking stuff to the ground in a way that it's explicable to the average audience member like myself.
Film critic.
I failed physics in high school. But like the Tide detergent scene, where he talks about that was a great scene. There's little moments along the way that I really liked, but it just ultimately felt so safe and so you just. I knew. I mean, yes, you know the story because he's not dead yet, but you just knew all the ways it was going to get there. I really hated the part where you've got poor Felicity Jones taking care of this, her husband who's got all these medical needs, and the 3 kids or however many kids are running around, and her mother, Emily Watson, comes to her with the advice: not you should get a nanny, but you should join the church choir. With all my spare time.
Her response is great. That was possibly the most English thing anybody has ever said. But she recognizes that too.
It's the one good laugh in the movie.
Emily Watson is like in one scene. One thing too that they dance around and don't really delve into as much as I would have liked is that there's this implicit notion that each of them gave the other permission to stray. Right? Once they recognized that the stress of the disease was unbearable, and she was going to need more help. She gets the hunky choir director to be her helper and her friend. He gets the therapist who's far more qualified. Maxine Peake, who is just sexy and lovely. So there's like this implicit this validation for them both to do their thing on the side, and they just kind of leap off of that once they suggest it.
Yeah, because heaven forbid that this again Oscar bait movie sort of implicitly implied that yes, there's such a thing as relationships that evolve and that become what does Dan Savage call monogamish? That's an interesting idea, but this film could not be less interested in pursuing it.
It's too complicated for them to really go into it. They want it to be safe and glossy and pretty.
Let's talk about black holes some more.
The important thing is that they remain friends. This movie has the out, I think, where everyone's going to defend it. It's like, well, this is what really happened, and I'm like, it doesn't mean you had to film it. You could have filmed anything. You didn't have to film this. And that's the thing for me is I was really glib in my intro, but I feel like I got nothing out of this. I feel like I watched this movie and the acting's okay. It is a dramatic situation, but I feel like even though like Redmayne in particular is really good, we're rewarding the situation if we say this movie is great, because the situation is inherently dramatic. It just wasn't portrayed very dramatically, and it has the cheap Oscar bait scene. And it's so fanciful on this. Obviously, they're going for this beautiful mind moment, but you can't believe it for a second. It's not even like a fake out. It's just false. It's just wrong, and it illustrates something really obvious. Like, I had no idea Stephen Hawking felt that way. Well, yeah, of course he did.
Manipulative.
It feels like the movie works backwards from if somebody played Stephen Hawking, if an able-bodied actor played Stephen Hawking. Cha-ching, Oscar time, and then worked backwards and built a movie around that, as opposed to, wow, this is this amazing story that people don't know and they need to know and is really moving and dramatic, and let's tell that, and then along the way, this is a really great opportunity for an actor. It didn't feel like it was that organic.
It was like that episode of Glee where the kid in the wheelchair finally got to do the safety dance. But it was a dream sequence. It's like that crap.
Only here do we compare Oscar bait to Glee. This is why we touch all bases of pop culture here. Yeah, so pretty. It's shot beautifully. There are some neat little dissolves from like the circles in the rug to the circles of the bicycle as he's motoring around Cambridge.
And there's one funny bit when he first gets to the voice box.
That is a funny bit. That's a really
But again, it's ultimately
I want Christie's comment about really cute dissolves to be on the poster. I think that's the best critic quote I've seen in a while. Really cute dissolves. Wow, we gotta see that film.
What the flick, right? You're looking for one movie this winter.
Yeah.
All right, so what is your number then, Bibbs?
I was said 6.8 originally, and then I tried to lower it, and you wouldn't let me. But
no,
it's
you said 7.5 originally, and then you lowered it.
It's early for me. Listen, it's competently done. I just didn't really get anything out of it, but it's possible to get wrapped up in it if you think the inherent story is very strong. So
6.8 for you.
6.2. I mean, it's not despicable. It's just uninteresting. It's unexceptional.
Yeah, a 6. I went back and saw it a second time because I saw it like a month or so ago because I wanted to give it its due, right? And I appreciated it more from like a production value standpoint than from the actual power of the storytelling. It's very well made.
That's how I felt about Interstellar.
The costumes are lovely. She wears various shades of ice blue very beautifully to pick up her eyes. All right, so I'll give it a 6. Our average is a 6.3, but it's much higher among our critics who are much more soft-hearted than we are. It's at an 84% on the tomato meter. So, theory of everything.
And that was everything.
Coming soon to an award show near you.
Bye.